Hey, welcome to NightCap Live. I'm Dan Dunn. Looking forward to a really fun, enjoyable evening. As you can see, I'm coming to you from my new bar in Fiji. Once this thing passes over, I invite you all to come down and join us. It's a lot of fun here. Tonight on the show, we got a full slate, bunch of cool people on here. From Kentucky Al, which is what we're going to be drinking tonight on the show. The master blender, Dixon Dedman, will be joining us. Also, returning champions from It's Bourbon Night, Chad and Sara Perkins. And the big guest tonight, I'm very excited about this. He is a recording artist, a food aficionado, all-around Renaissance man. Mr. Chevy Woods is going to be with us in just a couple of minutes. I invite you to check out my podcast. It's called, what is it called? Let me have a little bit of this. There we go. I don't know if you know about the memory-enhancing qualities of whiskey, but it's amazing. My show is called What We're Drinking with Dan Dunn. It's available everywhere podcasts stream. The latest current episode that's up right now features director Steven Soderbergh, who was just with us here on NightCap Live last week. I invite you to follow me on the Instagram at The Imbiber. Also, I'll be on the Adam Carolla Show this Monday, June 1st, doing what else? Exploring the wonderful world of adult beverages. As always on NightCap Live, we invite you to chime in with questions and comments down below. If you're looking at your, are you looking at your screen? Are you looking at your screen? Okay. All right. Below, there's a comment thing. You get in there, tap it in, put in questions, comments, snide remarks. I don't care. Bring it. I'm not afraid of you. So we're closing in on 3 months of quarantine. This has obviously been very rough. It's a struggle, and we're all doing the best we can to survive this, to adapt to this strange new normal. Personally, I draw strength from art, through great writing, painting, film, music, and whatever I can find on Netflix. So since we're drinking Kentucky Al tonight, and yes, I am contractually obligated to hold this bottle up at least 5 times. Kentucky Al, confiscated. We are drinking Kentucky Al tonight. I'd like to share some words of inspiration from a famous artist from Kentucky, the late, great author, Dr. Hunter S. Thompson, who I was lucky enough to call a friend. We have some pictures proving that, right, Fab? There we go. Okay, so this is the quote from Hunter's best-known tome, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. It goes like this. No sympathy for the devil. Keep that in mind. Buy the ticket, take the ride. And if it occasionally gets a little heavier than what you had in mind, well, maybe chalk it off to forced conscious expansion. Tune in, freak out, get beaten. See? Feeling inspired? I am. Well, if that's not inspiring you, then how about this? We're giving away, we got a contest tonight. We do this every week. We're giving away a Flaviar membership. Of course, you know, Flaviar is a subscription service. Quarterly, you get a box. It's got a great bottle of alcohol in it and all kinds of other things. Sometimes, am I being attacked? Okay. I love live streams. Don't worry, there's a jet coming into my house right now. So yeah, we're giving away the Flaviar membership. And as a bonus tonight, an added bonus, we're also going to add in a bottle of, you guessed it, Kentucky Al bourbon is also going to be in that if you win our contest tonight. And here's how it works. I'll just give you that inspirational quote from Dr. Hunter S. Thompson. I want you to write in the comments section, top 3 works of art that inspire you. It could be a film, song, an actual painting, book, whatever it is, the top 3. And I'm going to just look at it. Whenever one speaks to me and speaks to the other guests, you're going to be the winner of the Flaviar membership and the bottle of Kentucky Al. And speaking of great art, I think it's time to bring on our first guest. As I teased earlier, he is a rapper, a producer. He cooks. He's from Pittsburgh. That takes some courage right there, getting out of Pittsburgh. And he is with us on the show. We're very happy to have him, Mr. Chevy Woods.
What's good, man? How are you?
Good to see you, man.
Good
How's everything
going?
going?
Wow, what a background. Yes, sir.
You're gonna hang with me at this bar one day, right?
I definitely need a flight and a couple martinis.
Right. Now, speaking of, I mean, do you ever think? I mean, you travel. I mean, your career, you're going all over. How are you adjusting now to being? You're here in Los Angeles, right? Now you've been here
Right.
for months, I guess.
Right. Yeah. It's pretty wild because musically as an artist, these times right now are like really the times where we really come out with everything for the summer. You know what I mean? So now not being able to like pop out with the music and stand next to the music and go do these radio interviews, and it's pretty tough. You got to do a lot of Zooms, a lot of Skypes, a lot of IG lives just to keep in contact with the people. But you have to also stay sane so you can continue your work.
You know what I find helps with that, my friend? Whiskey.
I think I might join you.
Let's have a cheers. What are you drinking now? What do you got? A white glass going?
Kentucky Owl. It's amazing. I found out that I'm really not a consumer of like whiskey, but then I start drinking this, and I found a few things to go with it that makes it a lot better. So I'm in tune now.
Here we go. To you, my friend.
Bam. Cheers.
What do you got? A little beer mug, mini beer mug going?
Yeah, they're from Germany. Shot glasses that look like beer mugs.
So out there at home, you can drink bourbon out of any kind of glass where you want. I brought a cup. So this one here is a neat glass. And in case the name doesn't give it away, how you drink it in this glass is neat. So we do that. And see, it's got that wide thing. So you get that, really get that nose going there. And then, I love it.
I need to learn that.
Got to get one of these. This is a rocks glass, and it's got a rock in it. And then this here is a Glencairn glass, also perfect for sipping, Flaviar branded. I got a lot of things I got to do during the show, Chevy. I got to hold this glass up at least 3 times, 5 times. I got to give you crap for being from Pittsburgh. No, I love Pittsburgh, man. So I'm from Philly. So nice. As they say in Pennsylvania, you got Philly and Pittsburgh and Kentucky in between. So Dixon. When did you leave Pittsburgh?
I've been back and forth in LA for about 4 years, and I've lived here for about a year and about 4 or 5 months now.
Okay. And your career musically started when you connected with Wiz Khalifa, right? Early on in your career. And talk a little bit about how that led to where you are now.
Well, I had some cousins and stuff that actually went to school with him, and they used to always come home and tell me about this kid that was rapping in school, but they used to call him Cam, you know what I mean? So I wasn't really in tune with the music and people in school rapping or anything of that nature, but my little cousins just always talk about him. And finally, I had to make a long story short, I had a Triton keyboard. I turned it into like a play it again music business, and they gave me $350. I was searching for a recording studio.
Hi, we're back. Sorry, I had to poop. No, I'm just joking. It would be gone much longer if I had to poop. So anyway, where were we, Chevy? We were talking about whiskey, I think, was part of this.
Yep.
Yeah.
Whiskey, and we actually wanted to bring in a guy.
That's right. But I can't. While we were taking our little break, Chevy did bring up that when he's done here tonight, he has to do leg day workout.
Yes.
That's commitment. That is commitment. Drink some bourbon for an hour, leg day. Couldn't you put off leg day to tomorrow?
It's definitely not peanut butter and jelly at all.
Maybe it doesn't hurt as much when you have the bourbon. The pain. You're like, oh yeah, I got this.
This is about to be a first timer, so we'll see.
All right. I want to know how this workout goes. I want to hear back from you on how this workout went. So without further ado, we are going to bring on the man who is the master blender and he's the founder of Kentucky Owl. Is this 5 yet, Thad? Have I covered myself contractually 5 times? Okay. He is the founder of Kentucky Owl. More importantly, he once survived an entire weekend of hanging out with me, drinking at a wine and food festival. Mr. Dixon Dedman, how are you, brother?
I'm good, man. I appreciate it. I think about that weekend and leading up to that weekend. I thought I knew all my vices, and I picked up about 4 or 5 more hanging with you. So I still want to thank you for that.
Yes. So Dixon came. We were at Pebble Beach Food and Wine. I guess last year. It seems like eons ago because everything does. But we were there, and Dixon brought along a bunch of the Kentucky Owl with him. And so at the festival, we're outside. It's like a whole outdoor area. We're just chilling, and they've got servers and everything else, and obviously they want you to buy drinks there. He had a little bottle stashed underneath, and word started to spread that he had this bottle. People come up, can I get some? Can I get some? He's pouring it, and then eventually the waitress came up and she said, "Hey, what's going on here with this?" And he said, and then she looked at him and she says, "You can't just do that without giving me some." She said, "No problem."
She said, "You can't do that." I said, "Hey, I tell you what, just go get a glass. We'll figure this out later." And she went and got a glass, and we were friends after that.
So, man, Dixon, tell us a little bit about Kentucky Owl, the brand, the history, where it started, how you got to where you are right now.
Yeah. Let me just tell you, I just got a text from my wife right now. She found out I sent her who was on this thing. My son, who is 6 years old and an aspiring rapper, is now streaming all your music, Chevy. So you got a new fan with my middle son right now. He's locked in.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So there we go. Got a new fan.
Are we still good? I'm getting a weird. So anyway, to your story. Kentucky Owl is kind of a funny thing with my, it's part of my family's lore, part of my family's history, and it goes back a long way. I'm not a trained whiskey guy. I didn't grow up doing whiskey. I didn't grow up in the whiskey business. I grew up running or learning the hospitality business. My family owns and operates an inn in Central Kentucky. We've been in business for a little over 100 years now.
Hello.
Are you there?
Yeah. We're having some technical difficulty. Who knew? Who knew this could happen in this day and age when Dixon's gone? Chevy, you want to pick up what he was saying about how the family got into the business?
We could.
How about we do this? Why don't we do this while we figure out what's going on? This is good. You know what's funny, man? We've been doing this since quarantine started, and it's been surprisingly smooth. And right. I had the thought. I regret to say this, that I did have the thought earlier in the week that one of these days, shit's gonna go wrong.
You did it, bro. You did it.
Today's the day. But you know what? We'll make it right. Oh, look, he's back.
I broke the internet.
Yeah. Man, so many people were tuning in to see you, Dixon, that we crashed.
Yeah, I'm really sorry.
So you were saying something that I couldn't hear or see, but let's pick that back up.
Yeah, I don't know where you lost me. One, my son is a big Chevy fan now. Two, it's kind of funny to like talk to somebody who like has this passion for what they're doing and then kind of find something else they like to do. I was born and raised in the hospitality business. My family owns and operates an inn, the Bourbon Inn in Central Kentucky. Last year we celebrated our 100th year. And so I grew up in the hospitality business. I grew up, I grew up learning to cook in a commercial kitchen. We're a 2015 recipient of the James Beard Award, America's Classic. I grew up as a dishwasher, a busboy, frying chicken, renting rooms, changing beds, all that kind of good stuff. But and that started in my family in about 1919. But there's another part of my family that was in the distilling business from about 1876 until about 1916, 1917, when they were forced to shut down because of Prohibition. So my family's always owned this property where the distillery was. We grew up playing down there. We grew up water skiing and shooting guns and camping out and drinking whiskey at a young age that I wouldn't.
Wait. You were water skiing while shooting guns?
Yeah. I mean, gun in one hand.
Yeah.
You kind of tuck the rope under your elbow so that you don't spill.
By the way, don't laugh, because this is a sport that could actually exist right now during quarantine. Because you're not around. Just
right.
Like,
no, you can shoot guns, drink whiskey, and water ski.
People
and
on
completely
boats,
socially distanced, and it's perfectly fine. You know what I mean?
You got a Camelback on with the whiskey in it. Right?
No, I mean it's that's normally what we do on Tuesdays.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Somebody write that down. Let's keep this in mind for later.
But, it was always this dream of my family's to resurrect this brand, to get this brand back going, and it was something that as I got older, as I came and started running the restaurants and started building a bourbon program and got really passionate about bourbon, I became even more passionate about trying to resurrect this brand, this family brand, and so with some partners and some luck and pretty pretty hard line on how we were going to do it and what we wanted to do in a place that we thought was unique and offering something that was a little bit different. We kind of hatched this plan in about 2010, 2011. We started releasing whiskey in 2014. And we were very fortunate at the time we did it, that whiskey was kind of going crazy, and we had something that was pretty unique and something pretty cool that we could offer, and kind of an approach that other people weren't doing, and it's become, it's like,
can I stop you right there? When you say what is the thing you were doing that other people weren't doing?
Well, I mean, we were, it's still hard to this point, a non-distilling producer. So, we don't make our own stuff, but, when there are a lot of people that were just sourcing barrels, putting it in a bottle, slapping their label on it and saying this was mine. I took a little bit of my cooking background and what I think is a pretty decent palate. And what I started to do was to look at different liquids that we could buy that had age on them. And create a plan for them. And so I would say, I want to take this liquid, it's 4 years old, I want to put it in a new barrel with a 4 char and put it at the top of the rickhouse and see if I can, bring some sweetness in to balance the spice. And I would I'd create different programs with these different whiskey profiles. And then what was also unique is that I would sit down and then I would create blends of different distillates, different ages, different profiles to try to create one particular blend that was unique, and I wasn't replicating the same flavor profile over and over. I was starting from scratch each time, just trying to make the best whiskey I could make.
Now, when you're talking about char on a barrel, you said a 4 char. Can you quickly tell people what you're talking about in terms of the levels of what that means, the numbers on a char? So everybody knows this part of it is, to be bourbon, it's got to be aged in new white oak barrels that are charred, which means they make the barrel, they put it in, they shoot some flames up to char it, to burn it, the inside of the barrel. So now, Dixon, tell us about what those numbers mean when it comes to.
So what happens is, and each cooperage has a different menu, for lack of a better term, but so you have one cooperage that'll offer a 1, 2, 3, or 4 char. You have another cooperage that'll offer, and the cooperage, the people that make the barrels, other cooperage will offer 1 through 6, but it's the amount of time the barrel is subjected to that flame and how deep the char goes into those oak staves. And so a lighter char will affect the same liquid differently than a much heavier char. So the idea was,
have you ever been to a distillery before?
I have never. So I'm tuned in. So I'm like listening.
So when they're putting it in the barrel, this is something we know is any time. 5, by the way, this is it. When this came off the still, this liquid was clear, right? Any distillate's coming off, it's clear liquid. Where the color in that bourbon is coming from is the extraction from the wood. Okay. It's pulling not only the color but the flavor and all that. So the heavier the char, Dixon,
Right. So you have all these variables that take place. The amount of char, how deep the burn goes, and how much of the sugars in the oak are caramelized, and how deep that goes is one factor. Second factor is where it's stored in the rickhouse. Lower, cooler portions of the rickhouse won't get as hot and as cold, so you don't have as much expansion and contraction in and out of the oak. You go to the top of the fifth floor, sixth floor, something like that. It's 140 degrees up there in August, and so the expansion into the oak gets much more significant. So you can basically take the same liquid, put it in the same barrel, and put it two different places in the in the aging facility, and they'll turn into two different products. And then you add the element of different char levels, and all of a sudden, and that was really my goal, was to create an inventory of all these different barrels with all these different flavor profiles, and then to sit down at the table with 30, 40, samples and create these unique blends. I'm not trying to make the same thing over and over and over again. I want to make a new and different whiskey every time.
So does the char level mean how sweet or how hot it is?
Well, so it's funny because the char level, the lower char level stuff will end up giving you more of like a toasty, nutty kind of thing, and the higher char means the more caramelization of the sugars in the oak, and that'll give you more of those sweeter toffees, vanillas,
I'm a higher char guy now.
I'm with you.
So we got, again, inviting you people, everybody out there to send in questions, comments, put it in the comment box out there. I got one from John in Philadelphia. Dixie wants to know what makes a bigger impact on the whiskey, the mash bill or the aging?
Aging.
Okay. So everybody knows the mash bill. Go ahead, you go.
Yeah. So mash bill is a recipe of grains that you put together. So it's based on 100%. So you would say your mash bill, obviously it has to be 51% corn to be bourbon and whatever. But so it's your recipe. It's your percentages. 75% corn, 20% rye, 5% malt. Now there are producers who try to eliminate a lot of the barrel interaction in an effort to preserve a lot of the original characters of their distillate. But all in all, I tell people all the time, you go visit a distillery and they let you taste that new make, they let you taste the stuff off the still, and then I ask them how does that compare to the liquid that they pour you in the tasting room when they're finished. And the reality is they are nothing alike. And so, the maturation process, maturation is the biggest word that I know. But the maturation process.
If we did this show for another hour, he couldn't even say that word.
Right.
This is it right now.
Whoosh.
Maturation, yes. I think I know what that means. The age, the time in barrel.
Yeah, it's just the time in the barrel is by far the most significant, in my opinion, the most significant part of developing the flavor of a bourbon.
Got a question here from Jen in San Francisco for Chevy. You played sports. What did you play?
I played football and basketball.
Okay. What'd you play in football position? Football.
I played wide receiver and I played small forward in basketball.
Did you play at Robert Morris?
I didn't play. I was a Prop 48, which is probation because of the SAT scores were low. So it was a Prop 48, like a probation thing. And then once a year came, just to be honest, I started doing things that, college kids do. And it wasn't for me anymore. And I got out of there.
I did the Division I athletics thing for a little bit, and I liked being a college kid a lot more than I liked being.
What'd you play, Dixon?
I was a soccer player.
Oh, you were? Okay. Yeah. Where'd you go to college?
I went to school down in South Carolina, a school called Wofford College in
Wofford.
Okay, great. Got some more questions coming in. Cody Garvin on YouTube said, Dixon, are you planning to continue the batched releases of bourbon? Or are you moving towards only national releases?
No, I am my next project, which I've started the first part of it is for batch 10, which I hope will be a September release. So I'm already working on it.
Okay. The next one we got here. Can anybody else not see Dixon? Can we see you, Dixon?
I see him.
Good.
Oh, he's out again.
There we go. So we got a question here from John in Philadelphia. I know John in Philadelphia. Chevy, who's your favorite rappers right now?
My favorite rappers right now. That's a good question. I literally only in this time right now, I'm listening to all of my friends, honestly, because we make music together. So of course, like Wiz Khalifa, Ty Dolla $ign, my homie Young Deji, Buciano. Yeah, I'm not really on the national scene right now because we're working on a lot of projects. So I'm just listening to us.
What are you listening to in general? Not just rap, any category. Like you're home now. Gotta be
I'm
listening
to this. I got this artist that I'm tuned in to all the time. Her name is Elohim. She's super dope, and it's cool music that's wake up music. It's chill, clean your house stuff. So that's what I'm listening to. Elohim.
Elohim. Okay.
Yep.
Great. Awesome. I'm always looking for some good music to listen to. We got a bunch more questions coming in here. We got Dixon from Michelle Martin wants to know, do you use a pot still or a column still for distillation?
Right now, everything that...
you don't have your own, so you're, yeah.
But I'm actually working with two people to produce for us, and right now everything is off column stills.
Okay. All View Liquors, I know that dude. All View Liquors.
I did too.
He's a good friend. Wants to know, what's your favorite Kentucky Owl? You mean like the bird, All View Liquors? Can you clarify here? Or are we talking about liquor?
I think that is, if I get one question more than any, it's probably that. And I have to say that, batch 1 was this crazy, because when I first released batch 1, it was, there were a lot of people that were very skeptical about what we were doing because they heard the story and stuff like that, but they didn't get a chance to try the liquid, and it took a while for and I started sending people samples when I got mad. I was like, quit talking, you want to taste it, I'll send you a sample. But batch 1 was it took a little while, and then we won that Garden and Gun Award, and things kind of took off, and so I probably spent more time or as much time on batch 2 as I did any of them, and because I felt like if I screwed up batch 2, I'd never sell batch 3, right? And so I think just and it's maybe more like a
that one's more meaningful to you. It might not be your favorite.
Yeah, but maybe a little bit of an emotional attachment to batch 2, just because I really, I felt like, I guess, right, you throw out a good record, but if you can't back it up with your second record, you're like one hit wonder. You know what I'm saying? And
yep.
And so I do have a very strong emotional attachment to batch 2. I also the second rye I did is personally one of my favorites. It's the lowest proof of the ryes I've ever done, but that's one that I really gravitate to that one as well. But probably batch 2, the bourbon batch 2 is.
I like where you went there. So Chevy, I'm curious, do you have a favorite child, meaning song? What's a work that you've done that's the best thing the thing that means the most to you?
I do. I think it took me a while to find it, and it's funny that you said that because I've been doing music for over 10 years now. So I just found it, and it's this record I released called Escape. And what's crazy is I'm from the Midwest, Pittsburgh. People always be like, yeah, that's the East Coast. I'm like, bro, no, it's not. It's the Midwest. Trust me. It's the Midwest. I go 30 minutes out of from my house, and it's all farmland. So it's the Midwest, but it's the song called Escape, and it's a country record, but it's just tuned into, you know, stuff that I was into when I was a kid. If you heard of the forage club and like raising chickens and stuff like that, like I used to do that as a kid, and it's far fetched from where I come from, but at the same time I was into it and I met good people through it. We
got a question here from Jamon Hall 1 on YouTube. Said, Dixon, who are your favorite rappers?
Ooh, I have to say that, and you know, I now have a relationship with the Stoli group, and they hooked up with your boy Ty Dolla $ign, but we play a lot of that. But I'm also, you know, I grew up. And when my kids go to bed, you know, I'll break out that old school Chronic album, you know, and you know, that's
I love it. I love it. Dixon, Daniel Maruka. Is that Karate Kid? Daniel Maruka?
LaRusso.
Oh, okay. I thought the Karate Kid was chiming in. Daniel Maruka said, what is the backstory on the name Confiscated?
Oh, that's a good question. So you go back to that story about my family creating this you know, Kentucky Owl. And when Prohibition was coming around and they enacted Prohibition, with a lot of the smaller distilleries, they not only forced them to cease production, but they actually came and confiscated all their barrels. So about 250,000 gallons, not barrels, 250,000 gallons that my family had in inventory were actually pulled out of the rickhouses, put on barges, and taken to government-controlled warehouses where they were assured that everything was going to be fine. They actually, my great-great-grandfather tried to insure these barrels, and they kept telling him, no. They're in the government hands. You don't have to worry about a thing. We got this.
What would the government do? Wait. Right. Are you saying the government wasn't acting on the level? I don't believe
you said that. I didn't say that. You said.
All right.
That.
I did. Believe.
But so the story, you know, the story was always that you know, all those barrels were seized. They were taken north, sold into speakeasies, and sold on the black market. About 3 years later, my family received notice that these warehouses were mysteriously burned, and they were really sorry for the loss. And you know, and my family spent 15 years in litigation with the federal government trying to get any money back for this loss, and never got a dime. So when I was, you know, when we were kind of working towards this and trying to create a new product, you know, that kind of played off the original one, I created the batch version. I wanted to create, you know, and be able to tell, you know, that part of the story. And so the idea was that batch, what I'm working on now, like for example, batch 10, a barrel proof small blend is kind of the rebirth of Kentucky Owl. This confiscated blend is more of a tribute to those barrels that were seized and lost. So that's how that story. So this is kind of a, you know, playing off that part of the story.
So again, folks, I invite you, if you want to win the Flaviar membership and the bottle of Kentucky Owl, write in the comment section the 3 works of art that inspire you. And I'm not saying if you put a Chevy Woods song in there, you might be ahead of time. I'm just saying.
It's a good connection. You should
know the room. Know the room. Okay, so put your 3 best works of art, be it a book, a combination of books, films, movies. Films are movies. Yeah. Oh, hold on. Let me get right again. Books, films, paintings. What else is art? Music, that thing. Yeah, music. So put that in the comment section. We're going to be giving that away shortly at the end of the show. But for right now, we got some more stuff coming at you. They've been on NightCap Live before, and they've been great on NightCap Live before. And I'm looking forward to it because they got some food coming now. We got some food pairings with whiskey. Please, everybody, give a warm welcome to Chad and Sarah Perkins of It's Bourbon Night. How are you guys?
Hey. Doing good.
How's it going?
Good to see you again. You guys are looking healthy and happy there in Lexington, Kentucky, correct?
That's correct. Yeah.
Doing as good as we can.
Yeah. And we got, the bottle right here in the middle of us. So
Right.
it's like it's
we should all cheers to you joining us. Let me do that. There we go. In my Glencairn glass. Great to see you again. Thank you. So guys, you have brought a food element tonight to the show?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we were tasting this the other night and we were just kind of writing down some notes about the flavors, and that sort of inspired us to like spin off and talk about what kinds of foods we thought would go with this. So I did a little grocery shopping and just like picked up a couple of things that, I don't know, struck me based off of those notes.
Some of the usual suspects, like, bourbon pairings, you think chocolate.
Right. We tried some chocolate. Marcona almonds are one of my favorites because they have that like salty, nutty that will go with a lot of whiskeys. Strangely, vanilla wafers, but I think like any type of shortbread cookie would work.
Really? What is it do you think about vanilla wafers that go with the whiskey?
I think the fact that it's such like a light, sweet cookie kind of brings out some of those same types of flavors in the whiskey. Let's see, what did I write down? I wrote that it like allows the brown sugar, again, the vanilla, to come through a little bit. And there's a little bit of to me, because taste is subjective, there was a little bit of a citrus note in this that I think just because it's a milder type of cookie, it lets that kind of come through. So that was nice.
Yeah, so we bought
Bring our food over here.
Okay. We bought several things, and you kind of go with the nose and the palate and all that, and you kind of theorize like, okay, let's try this. They didn't all work, and that's kind of the beauty. This isn't something that just any pairing that works with one whiskey. It is personalized to the whiskey, but we picked our top 3 that we liked, and it kind of starts with vanilla wafers.
Yeah, what we got.
Yeah.
Which are like super easy. I mean, like food pairings can sometimes, I think, be intimidating to some people because they think, it's got to be, this elevated thing, and it really doesn't have to be. I mean, something as simple as a vanilla wafer that we all probably had as kids can work really well. Marcona almonds are, again, just like a little bit of a fancier almond, and then we did I saw a blueberry and lemon and thyme goat cheese, and I'm a huge goat cheese fan. And because this is on the milder side as far as like proof, it's not above 100. It's got a little bit of those like citrus notes in it, and I thought that would work really well with the blueberry goat cheese. So we grabbed that. That's probably my favorite, just because I think the fat in the cheese I just love cheese and whiskey.
Well, that's our showstopper.
That's the showstopper.
Let's back up to these vanilla wafers here, right?
Yeah. I want to quickly throw over to Chevy real fast while we're doing this. So Chevy, you're seeing this. You see, when you're cooking, do you ever cook with alcohol, with a little bourbon? You do like a reduction or something like that?
Well, it was funny because I'm definitely tuned into the food part for sure, all the way tuned in, listening. But I use this on my show, and which is Make It Good with Chevy Woods, of course, shameless plug. It's I used it on my steak. So I got porterhouse steaks, and what I did was I ended up making my own buttermilk and then adding the bourbon to it, cooking the steaks for about 15 to 20 minutes, and then taking them out, and then letting the almonds. She said almonds, so I'm like almond world. But letting the onions and letting the bourbon and everything just cook together, and then putting the steaks back in, and it came out amazing. My brother doesn't drink liquor. I let him eat the steak first, and then I told him what was in it, and he was like, "What?" And he was like, "It was so good, bro." So it goes great with food for sure.
Amazing. So we can do it simple like that. We can do it like this. Now, the second thing we had after the vanilla wafers were, what do you got there?
Here they are.
Marcona almonds.
Yeah. So these are basically what, just like fancy almonds?
Just like fancy almonds. That's an easy way. They got some oil to them. They're salted. Go ahead and read the description.
Allow me to read the label. Fried in small batches. Hey. Sprinkled with sea salt, crunchy and sweet.
Nice.
And Dixon, you still there?
Yeah, I got the same one.
So Dixon, let me ask you, how important is with the whiskey, because you also, as you mentioned, you've got the inn, you've got this, how important is having a food component to pair with the whiskey?
I think that for me personally, it just, I love cooking with different spirits. I love cooking with, using that in the recipes and things like that. But, it's kind of like when y'all were talking about, the glassware that you were having earlier, and I love to work with different pairings and try to create, the nuances of different things, but also sometimes think that, good food, good wine, good whiskey, good whatever with people you want to be around and people you want to enjoy it with is really what's important. And I think that there's really cool opportunities to accentuate certain flavor profiles with something. I mean, it's very easy to do the chocolate thing or whatever. And I cannot wait to try what, because I actually got the exact cheese that Chad and Sara were talking about. But I think sometimes there's two sides of it. Like, yeah, it's great to try to do these things. It's also just as important to think that, when I'm creating a whiskey and doing a whiskey or something like that, I want it to be important and like a special occasion piece. And if that means that it's with your boys, outside tailgating for a football game in styrofoam cups with some, burgers or brats or some barbecue. So, I mean, I think you can, I love playing with it, but I don't think that it can work both ways. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure. Now, Sara, do you cook often with whiskey?
I do. I have to say, I've been mostly baking with it. I haven't started introducing it into what Chevy was talking about with marinades and things, but I'm super interested in doing that. But mostly I've been cooking with it. I did a bourbon butterscotch pie a couple weeks ago. It turned out really good.
Yep.
What? Wait, can we get that recipe anywhere?
Yeah,
please.
Recipe video on
Give
our
me some.
Where was that?
Dan, I'm so glad you asked. If you go to youtube.com/It's Bourbon Night and you look at a playlist called Eat More Bourbon, there's a grand total of 2 episodes about that.
Okay, so I'm gonna propose something right here because I can't cook worth shit. So Chevy and I both live in LA. Chevy, you make that. I'll bring the whiskey.
Okay. There we go.
And we'll socially distanced enjoy that. Yes, yeah.
But Chad and Sara live like 30 minutes from me. We can jump in a van and drive out there.
You guys will shoot your video of you guys enjoying yours, and Chevy and I will do ours, and we'll bring this back in a future episode because that sounds absolutely delicious.
Yes.
Let's talk about this goat cheese. Is it goat cheese pairing we got?
Yeah, it's goat cheese, and it's got lemon and blueberry and thyme. And so I thought that, there's really subtle notes, in my opinion, of citrus and berry and an herbal in here, along with, your typical, caramelized brown sugar, vanilla, that I think this goes really well with. So we're just going to spread some of this on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I totally.
Let me tell you something. Don't sleep on those almonds, man. Those almonds.
Yeah, right?
They are probably the most universal thing that I would recommend, if you're having people over to do a tasting or if you just want to munch on something while you're having a pour. Marcona almonds are where it's
at. Mark Daly on YouTube, Sara and Chad want to know, have you ever tried pairing it with fig Newtons?
No, but I will now.
Yeah, for sure will.
Comes out of nowhere.
I'm drizzling the honey.
He's got Nutter Butters. Oh, come on. I got nothing.
Nutter Butters.
I can't eat because I'm trying to keep things flowing here, but I'm going to have to figure this out. By the way, just random question here from Rob Gleason on YouTube. Chevy, Pittsburgh Steelers or LA Rams?
Pittsburgh Steelers, never the LA Rams.
Right. Come on, man. Same with me. I'm from Philly. I'm eating all the way.
No
Never.
way. There's no way. I've been a Steelers fan since I was a baby, so it's like no way.
I'm curious. You guys live in Kentucky. You don't have a pro team. It's like Steelers, right? Or the Ohio teams. No, what do you got?
No.
None at all.
Everyone who has adopted some team from somewhere far away.
Right. Everybody has a team from somewhere else.
So here,
Yeah.
it's
UK.
It's UK, University of Kentucky.
That is like pro
men's
sports
basketball. That's the religion here in
It's
Kentucky.
a whole bunch of bandwagon pro fans is what it is.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
Man, we got a ton of questions coming in. Kelly
Sarah,
Woods.
this is the jam. I mean,
Right?
this is special. Yeah.
Right?
Pretty good.
Just so you know, we couldn't get that out here in Los Angeles.
Yeah, we're jealous.
We can't even leave the house. We can't go anywhere. You're not even allowed to shop anymore. Yeah, no,
Right.
that's it.
Can I like drop ship it to you? I'll make you a little care package.
I'm going to Chevy's right after this for that steak. So now who's jealous? Okay. Bunch of questions here. Kelly Woods on YouTube wants to know, Dixon, if you are at Beaumont Inn, Dixon's Inn in, is it Frankfurt?
Harrodsburg.
That place in Kentucky. What meal, if you could only order one meal, well, what whiskey? Of course, it's Kentucky Owl. What's the meal to order at the Beaumont Inn?
For 101 years, we've been serving yellow-legged fried chicken, 2-year-old Kentucky cured country ham with green beans cooked all day with jowl bacon and onions, corn pudding, whipped potatoes, and a whole bunch of cream gravy on top of it. That's what we do.
We've been there.
This video is gonna get flagged for food porn after that description.
Yes.
God.
The corn pudding is like,
Hey, good luck with leg day after that, my boy.
Oh my.
My goodness, that sounds good. So, okay, everybody out there, we're coming towards the end. We're steamrolling towards the end, and we're going to be giving away the bottle of Kentucky Owl and the Flaviar membership to the 3 best works of art that inspire you. And I'm going to bring the whole crew in here, and we're going to start jumping in and doing it. So we're going to say you got 3 more minutes to get those in. So do it now. Sara and Chad. Sorry, lost it there for a second.
Yeah, I was like,
yes.
Hold on. Again.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
yeah.
Have you been to the Beaumont Inn? Have you had the dish that he just talked about?
Of course, yes.
I haven't had the dish that he talked about, but I have had their corn pudding, and it is the best corn pudding that I've ever had. Also, their biscuits and gravy are not a joke.
Yeah.
They're so good.
Yeah. And I had some dessert. I went there for my
2 birthdays in a row.
birthdays in a row. Went there,
Okay. Beaumont
Inn, and had an excellent meal. But there was a dessert. Maybe you can help me out, Dixon. I can't remember. It was good. Does that help?
I don't know.
I don't remember.
I don't remember.
What's your good dessert?
That
Yeah.
one. We have the big one that we have served for 100 years is a 4-layer orange lemon cake, citrus cake with citrus icing, with a big scoop of vanilla bean ice cream on the side.
Wow, bro.
I don't think that was it, but that sounds.
We also do a bread pudding with the bourbon sauce.
All right, I'm stopping this right now. I can't take any more of this. Let's start. I'm gonna start throwing out some of because we can all vote on this. This is completely, up to us who's gonna be the winner here on the things that inspire people. So I'll throw out a couple. We make a mental inventory of you think is the winner. Eric Meadows, Segura family, dogs playing poker, painting, and the movie Rounders.
I like it.
Okay. Strong argument.
That's not bad at all.
It's not bad at all. Jordan H. says The Kiss by Gustav Klimt, the painting. Love that one. Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen. You can't go wrong with that. And Hamilton, the musical. That one, that's all. That's Jordan. Okay.
That's a deep guy right there. Pause.
Stephen Bundy says God, whiskey, and nature. All right. I like that, Stephen Bundy. Aswad 2007, The Alchemist, That's the Way of the World, My Family. Okay, don't know any of that. SP on YouTube said Starry Night by Van Gogh. Oh, what an amazing painting.
Okay.
Piper, great book. And the Penicillin, the cocktail. Yes.
Okay.
If it was made with bourbon, you'd be in a better shape than, again, know the room. That's all I'm saying. Jerry Stamey, Bohemian Rhapsody again, anything by Monet. I love anything by Monet. Like, what do you listen to? Anything by Monet. Those Monet paintings that he knocked out. Yeah. And Quentin Tarantino films.
He's a winner with me.
Right there, coming in.
Those are different, but.
All right. Cody.
That was a very broad answer. That's very broad.
Yeah. Very broad. Night Moves by Bob Seger. Motor City Mayhouse by Ted Nugent. And Roundabout by Yes, Cody Garvin. All right. That's the whitest answer we're going to get of the night. Yeah.
He named all the music.
There we go. Richard Abbott says Dances with Wolves, Tombstone, and Silverado. Sorry, that's the whitest answer we're going to get tonight. Now we're on to Aaron Chase, 67 Mustang, Sullivan's Cove French Oak, and a Stradivarius. Yeah. All right. Man. Marnie Peak, Volunteers. What is that? Is that a movie? Volunteers?
I never heard of it.
Tennessee one?
The Grand Canyon on the Harley? Man, this is confusing. And First Responders. That's not a work of art. I mean, come on. You can't pander here. There's no pandering. Marie Fitzpatrick says London Calling by The Clash. The Rum Diary by Hunter S. Thompson. And Nick Foles' performance against the Patriots.
Oh my gosh.
See, she knows the room. She knows the room. Brian Perry says Rodin's The Thinker. Let's all do our best thinker. Oh, yeah. All right. What else? The Iwo Jima Memorial and Munch's The Scream. Oh, good ones.
Very good.
Brett Lucas says Forrest Gump. Know your audience. Dixon. Oh, no, come on.
Sorry. What happened?
Oh, wow.
You got that? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I'm telling you, man.
Yeah.
And then Brian Semperiak, No Man's Land, Depeche Mode, and a Porsche 911. Man.
Porsche 9. Does he have it, or that's what he's like thinking about?
First of all, nobody has even tried throwing out one of Chevy's. So I don't get it.
Or like a Bourbon Night episode.
How about we open it up for one more minute? Here we go. Now think.
Let's see.
Our guests. Yes, here we go. Did anybody have any that don't say the name, but you probably have an idea who the winner might be?
I like the. I don't know the name, but I like the thinking, and I like the Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah, the Tarantino one was solid. There were the first couple were really solid.
Yeah.
I think you got to narrow down the Quentin Tarantino movie, though. I mean, he has such a spectrum.
That's true.
You got to pick just pick one. Reservoir Dogs.
You got to pick a great one.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Those are completely different.
This is a whole discussion on its own.
It's a whole thing.
This just came in. I'm just going to say, as somebody who loves classical music, Bach Cello Suite No. 5 in C minor, which I swear to God I know, El Greco's View of Toledo, which I have personally seen in Toledo, Spain. This is not me doing this. And Frank Herbert's Dune, the book and the series. And now with more coming in. David by Michelangelo. Never heard of it. Anybody?
Nope.
Don't know that. The Deer Hunter and Catcher in the Rye. That's Rob James. I do like all of those. Stephen King's The Stand. Mike Lemure, The Stand. Band of Brothers, and Waterloo Sunset by the Kinks.
I like.
All right, now we got to give it to somebody. I'll refresh the ones that I think we kind of all liked, and we'll pick one right here. starting in the beginning was.
Can I throw one out there? I would like to throw one out there. I'd like to throw out my 3 would be vanilla wafers, Marcona almonds, and wait. Blueberry, lemon, and thyme goat cheese on a water cracker with a little bit of honey on top. That would be.
I like it, and I like it. But no, that does bring up a good point. Chevy, what would be the 3 things that inspire you right now, man? Seriously, like.
I guess your family. 3 things that inspire me. Wow, it's a lot of shit.
Oh, I mean, works of art. Like, could be music, a book, a movie, something. Yeah.
Okay, so like, I'm actually, this is like but like music, of course, just I like all genres. I just like to listen to it. Even if I don't like it, I can find out if I don't like it after, but I still take it in. I like art too. I have some pieces in my house of like the Chevy symbol and stuff like that. So, and I guess like my friends, you know what I mean? My friends are super inspirational to me because they're all doing things that are positive. So, you know, I try to follow in the footsteps.
Chad and Sarah?
I would say this might sound a little pandering, but our subscribers, because they do inspire us. I mean, seriously, they inspire us to put out, a couple of videos every week. That is our inspiration. Toto by Africa.
Yeah. Okay.
Or Africa by Toto. Did I mix that up? Why does it sound backwards?
Yeah, it is backwards.
Yeah, sorry. Africa by Toto. And,
hold on. That one requires a raise.
Yeah.
There we go.
Hey, this confiscated works. And bourbon whiskey.
Okay. Mine, since I'm alone in quarantine, is my dartboard, which is right over there. Spend a lot of time dartboard. My dog was here with me during quarantine, and of course my Pornhub Premium membership.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah. Quarantine. And by the way, what's that? Wait, hold on. Oh, there's the director's coming in going, cut it off now. No. All right, so here we go. I'm going to throw out the ones that I think we all kind of liked, which was Jerry Stamey said Bohemian Rhapsody, anything by Monet, and Quentin Tarantino films. All right, can I chime in here? Jerry Stamey, think you're on it, but you're way too broad, maybe, right? You can't go everything by Monet and everything by Tarantino, right?
Right.
Jerry Stamey's out. Sorry, Jerry. You were close. I mean, Cody Garvin, I do like Night Moves by Bob Seger, but Motor City Mail, you lost me with Ted Nugent. Okay, where else we got here? Where was the one that that one's pretty good.
What's the Thinker guy?
Brian Perry said the Thinker, the Iwo Jima Memorial, and Edward Munch's The Scream. So that's kind of maybe the leader right now, right? Because The Scream, I think, is kind of how we're all feeling right now.
Yeah.
Really, like when I look at that, I go, yeah, okay. And the Iwo Jima Memorial is overcoming, so Brian Perry is in the lead right now. Boy, we got stuff. There we go. I think, guys, any of the other ones that
what was the very first one?
The very first one was, that was Dan Dunn. He said Dixon Dedman, Dixon's and anything that Chevy Woods has ever recorded.
Yeah.
Dan Dunn.
Winner.
Could be the winner. Yeah, could be the winner.
Clear cut.
It's going to be tough. Yeah. Man, oh man. So it's between that one and then Dan Dunn, who loves Chevy Woods, It's Bourbon Night, and Kentucky Al.
But I think he's disqualified, right?
Not eligible. Not
eligible. Yeah.
Says who? No, all right, let's give it to who was that again, Keith? I'm lost now. Let me have more bourbon. There we go.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, got it right. There we go. Jerry Stamey, ladies and gentlemen. Jerry Stamey, you have won a bottle of Kentucky Al and a Flaviar membership.
Yeah, buddy.
I'm throwing this in right now. Chevy Woods is going to cook you a steak.
Yeah, I'm going to pull up to your house and Cook you a steak, bro.
We're both coming. I'm bringing the whiskey. He's bringing the steak. We're gonna do it up.
I just hope that she remember I've been gone for some time now.
Yeah.
That's just, and I mean, maybe we're probably getting in trouble with your
Getting
label.
shut down now by the label.
Right.
So I want to quickly go around. Sara and Chad, where can everybody find you? What do you have coming up?
Yeah, youtube.com/It's Bourbon Night. We have an episode coming out tomorrow at noon Eastern Standard Time. That's something that I think you all would want to see because it's something near and dear to our hearts.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, it's about bourbon. But also, we've got a site where you can get things like our merch and our glasses, and that's called Whiskey Ambition. So it's whiskeyambitions.com.
Yep.
Fantastic. Chevy Woods.
I'm going to piggyback off the merch, chevywoods.com, and everything else is Chevy Woods, and the cooking show is Make It Good with Chevy Woods.
Finally, last but not least, Dixon Dedman. Where do the people find you, my friend?
I'm personally at the Old Owl on on Instagram and Twitter. There's obviously at Kentucky Owl. You can get me there. You can get me those places. But I would also, anybody that wants a little fried chicken, country ham, corn pudding, green beans, potatoes, and a little gravy. I'm at Beaumont Inn in Harrodsburg, Kentucky, beaumontinn.com. Check us out. So that's where I spend the majority of my time, and I'm always up for a little whiskey tasting if anybody's in the neighborhood. So
nice.
Well, I want to thank Chevy Woods. I want to thank Dixon Dedman, Chad and Sarah Perkins for being part of tonight. And I especially want to thank all of you out there who are watching. Invite you to go to Flaviar, check it out, become a subscriber to Flaviar. It's a great deal. You're going to get a quarterly thing every month. Go to Kentucky Owl, check out their website, do that. Back here next Thursday, same time, same bat channel. My dear friend, Aisha Tyler. Aisha Tyler is going to be with us next week. You know her, you love her. Talk Soup, Archer, CSI, or one of those shows. Criminal Minds, that's the one. Yeah, she's on there. And please, everybody, stay safe out there. Be cool. Wear a mask. Do the right thing. And we'll see you back on NightCap Live next Thursday. And cheers, everyone.
Thank you all.
Cheers.
Thanks.
Happy leg day.
Don't remind me.